Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I've been on the road, had to go down the country there, take care of some business and stuff. I'm back here, got to get back to the workshop here because I got a lot of different racks and Joe Barty's and things that I got to get out to you guys. I got to get working on the tickets, getting those out to you guys. I apologize. I've had some people that are still trying to get some more seats and things for the game, and I've got to just literally sit down and make sure I put people where they are with together, because I've got certain people and stuff that are like, hey, I got 9 here and I got 4 here. I want to make sure that I put them all together. And there's a few more people that are still working on getting tickets. So we had some news today that was kind of scary. As I was coming up the road, we heard that Tony Pollard was not practicing because of a foot injury. The team does not seem to be too concerned about that at this point. I think it was just keeping him out, let him get a little extra rest, work on the cords and be okay. But surprisingly, Zeke Elliott was a 100% participant in practice. Now, let's be clear here. I want you to understand something about practice right now in the NFL. The way if you played high school football back in the day like I did, we ended up having practices that were live practices where you're full pads, you're tackling, you're taking guys to the ground and stuff like that. Well, in today's NFL, here's how it works. You only have 11 padded practices for the whole entire, season, not training camp. Training camp, I believe it's 16. We used to have 2-a-days with the special teams, and we wore gear every practice. And of course, your shoulder pads and stuff would get kind of slimy. You get that smell. And if you played football in high school like when I did, you understand what that smell is like from your shoulder pads. You just can't get rid of that smell. It smells like football. But the 11 padded practices have to be done by week 11. So there are no more padded practices for the rest of the year. So when we say practices, we're talking about, helmets and, basically glorified walkthroughs. So Zeke Elliott was a full participant. They're not hitting and contacting like we would think of, but he was a full goal. He said literally the only way he's staying off the field is if he's drug off the field. So when and I'll be the first one to say that a couple of years ago, especially in that Eagle game in 2019, where he was constantly get a good run, I need a blow. I killed him. I killed him on it. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, he's like, no, I'm not coming out. This is too important. And I'm hoping and praying that he is really healed. Now, Michael was saying he heard something about really Zeke Elliott needs like 3 or 4 weeks to really heal up from his injuries. I hadn't heard that. I don't know what source that was. There's so much information out there these days that you don't know what's what and who's who. So while I was driving down the road, I have been listening to Sports Talk 980. It's had different names and iterations and stuff, but I have been listening to it so long that I remember Kiley and the Coach, which was Kevin Kiley, who ended up getting a job and working in Detroit a long time ago. And then there was Rich Gilgallen, the coach. I don't know what happened to the Rich. Okay. Rich was like one of those, guys that you always hear about, when they used to have like the 1-800 gambling lines and stuff. He had one of those kind of voices and stuff. So it was Kiley and the Coach. So that's a long, long time ago. And of course, I miss my buddy Doc Walker, because Doc Walker, when he was with the coach John Thompson, many years together and stuff, they were great. And now we've got the next generation of guys. We have Travis Thomas. And I was listening coming down the road because this is Washington-Dallas Hate Week, okay? And I have been opining, I think that's a word, opining for what used to be back in my day, which was Cowboy Washington Hate Week. You get the bulletin board material. They would talk trash about it. The fans and stuff would be coming at you. And that's literally what's been happening to me. Rio's on his channel talking smack about Mark Holmes and the Cowboys, and we're going to beat them. And, we're seeing video clips of fans saying, we want Dallas, like the iconic video clip from the 80s, 1980, when Washington became that dominant team in the 80s, where they're at RFK and they're bouncing, the temporary seating is bouncing, and they're chanting, we want Dallas. Those great rivalries, those great iconic games, those all-out wars where it wasn't just a game for that 3 hours. It was the build-up, getting there, that hate and stuff that come back through. And then, of course, the week after, where you rode the other team if you were the victor, and if you were the loser, i.e. Washington fans, you hid. At my house, this is back before we had smartphones and the internet and stuff, the phone, when Washington would win, would ring off the hook because every Washington fan wanted to get his pound of flesh from my dad, the diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. But when the Washington team lost, that phone didn't ring. They went and hid. They hid like cockroaches. And this week has been a little taste of that, for me at least, okay? Because everybody, all these Washington fans that I haven't seen for years, have been coming at me. I'm literally at Home Depot just buying some wood. I got my Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt on, and here's this young kid, don't know nothing about. He's still wet behind the ears, and he's saying, we gonna kick the Cowboys' ass. And I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, they feel that this is like energy that I have not seen since the early 90s. Because let's be clear here. Washington and Dallas, we've had playoff teams, but we haven't been really relevant, neither of us, in a long time. And I've missed that. I have missed actually where we were playing games more than for bragging rights, that it was actually for something. And see, I'm here to try and rekindle this rivalry. So today I'm riding down the road and I'm listening to Travis Thomas. Got to tell you, I love it. He's young. He's a lot younger. Really young. And they started talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense, and they were saying that the Cowboys were a finesse defense. And I was like, oh, wait, what? I was like, ho. You could call them a defense a lot of things. But finesse, here's what I want you to understand. When you say finesse, that's a nice way of saying that you're soft. That's a nice way of saying you're soft. And I'm sitting here thinking about the bludgeoning like the Cowboys defense did to Carolina. Because when we played Carolina was undefeated. Sam Darnold, people were talking about, it must have been the Jets. It must have been the Jets was the reason why Sam Darnold was so bad. Christian McCaffrey was back doing good things. The Cowboys came in, we laid the wood and pounded their ass. Pounded them. Beat them mercilessly. And you could see in many games that the Cowboys have had that, the defense has put people out of business. You'll remember in the offseason, the Dallas Cowboys were fined for having practices that were too physical. So when he said finesse defense, that they don't really want to get dirty, I was like, oh, bro, I got to call in Thomas. Young Buck. Let the old man here fill you in on the Dallas Cowboys defense, because the topic of conversation was defense today. Tomorrow they're talking about offense. So I may call in tomorrow again. Let him feel this knife in his own backyard here. Let's go to the tape. Let's listen to Travis. Let's listen to the call. Okay, my troll game is good.
Sam, we're same page. I've been saying that about the Cowboys. I think they're their own worst enemy offensively, because I just think they have an identity crisis in terms of running the football. I think that team's built to run the damn ball. They have two very capable backs, as you just laid out. And I agree. In fact, I would run Pollard more than Zeke, to be honest with you. And, I think you're right. I think you hit it right on the money where they have so many weapons. They do get a little too, they're a little too cute at times, right?
I can agree with that.
Too much like the smartest guy in the room sometimes. Like, well, we have this, and this. If we do this play, we could do that. How about you just run the ball, and then those weapons are even better? Mark in Springfield, you're in the Travis Thomas experience. How do you defend this Dallas team?
Well, hello, Travis. It's Mark from Springfield, a.k.a. Cowboy Jobu, and I'm here for the experience. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, truth and advertising, I am an old-school Cowboy fan, i.e., I'm just old. Yeah. And my heart is just it's electric right now because I've got Washington fans that have been coming after me left and right. I can't even go to Home Depot without a Washington fan saying, we're going to kick your butt on Sunday. So I am thrilled as possible. But don't hate on us Cowboy fans for buying tickets because we picked up 80 tickets this week. Woo. So we're going to be there strong and in force. Yeah. Now, for me, you guys were kind of talking about the Cowboys defense kind of being finesse. Their motto is fast and physical, and they can come after you. And the defense that you're going to see this weekend is going to be a little bit different because Neville Gallimore and now Tristan Hill coming off suspension, along with Randy Gregory being back, is going to end up making that defense actually going to kind of bludgeon you guys a little bit more than what you've seen.
Right.
It's actually amazing what Micah Parsons has done without having Randy Gregory for the last month, without having D-Law.
Right.
All of a sudden, if the Cowboys defense plays well, that could be actually a formidable front, which will help the D-backs. On the other side of the ball, that offense, they've had similar issues where they've been missing players too. When you take out Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb as well as Blake Jarwin, they don't perform quite as well, and the offensive line has been shuffled.
Right.
But that should be a defensive coordinator's nightmare because it's like, pick your poison. Are you going to try and stack the middle?
Right.
And stop the run and leave one-on-one for Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and now Michael Gallup?
Oh, God.
Or are you going to try and double cover like CD and worry about them being able to run the football?
Right. No, that's a great point, and I appreciate it, too. I do get some Dallas fans who know how to act and call the show and show the show a lot of love. So I appreciate you always, Mark. Call us more often, 301-230-09.
All right, so, shout out to my man Travis. That's not going to be the last time you hear from me. In fact, we play Washington again in a few more weeks, and who knows? We could be seeing them in the playoffs. I know that's crazy. And I want to say, I have to go back and say, I'm not sure that we've beat them in the playoffs. I know in the 80s that we ended up having some rough times. I remember that game where Dexter Manley was talking about cleaning out Danny White's clock, and he literally did. He knocked Danny White out of the game. And that was like the dawn of the Hogs and Joe Gibbs and all that era, and that was kind of like the downfall of the Cowboys. We went to 3 NFC championship games in a row. We lost to the 49ers. We lost to Washington. I can't remember the other one. I'm getting old and having brain farts. But that was kind of the end of the Tom Landry era. And, basically we just kept getting worse and worse and worse until finally the team became unprofitable and was sold, basically pennies on the dollars to this organization that was losing $2 million a month when Jerry Jones bought it, and he proceeded to fire Tom Landry and start all over. So that's where we are, and I'm doing my best to stir some shit up, as Jerry Jones would say, with this rivalry. And I cannot wait till Sunday. We literally, the other part that was interesting was, they're literally begging Washington fans, stop selling your tickets to Cowboy fans and things, because they were swearing that we bought all the tickets in the off season. We bought. I had to let them know. No, we just got them this week. In fact, I got to call up Joe and let him know I need 6 more tickets. Like, hey, no problem. We're happy. You know, we like burgundy and gold, but we really love the green. We really love the green. So that's where we are with this, and I can't wait till Sunday. Everybody, I will be getting your tickets out and stuff tonight and tomorrow. We'll be working on all that. Like I said, it's been crazy getting ready. In fact, I've got to get out there and start working on getting the food together. And Travis Thomas, if you happen to be watching this, we will be tailgating in Red Zone Lot. And if you've never had some Jobu wings or some of our pulled pork, we're going to have, listen, let me explain this to you. We are undefeated when we've done the big subs. We've done the Italian subs when we play the Giants again. We're going to do a chopped cheese sub. We've done the steak and cheese sub. We did the shrimp poor boy last go round. And we even did the lobster roll one. We are undefeated with the big sub. See, that's the problem for the Cowboys is we hadn't been doing it. So we're going to do something different here. Instead of them being just the regular sliders like I do on the little roll, I'm getting like 3 of the big rolls. I'm going to see if I can get a 6-foot one. If I can get 6-foot ones, I'll get 2 of those. But we're going to be pulling all that pulled pork on that big sub. We're going to put in the coleslaw on there, an extra barbecue sauce on top of it, and we're going to be slicing those things because the big sub has been undefeated. And Travis, you're welcome to come on by. Come on by. We do have some Washington fans. We got a Giant fan that comes with us and hangs, you know, because I got like my man Nick Caps, who's coming all the way from North Carolina. He's a Washington fan. So it's friendly crowd. We don't fight. We don't fight. We just let our team do the talking on the field. And so if you want to stop on by, I've invited Doc Walker. He's been trolling me. Doc has been trolling me because he certainly, Thanksgiving night, how's your Thanksgiving? I got you, Doc. I got you. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here and get back to work. Just remember this, guys.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.